Again, we need to be aware and then accept that it is us and then act something about it. Instead of being angry, how about this one? How about this as as a means to do it? See, so that person lost a tumbler on her commute and was requesting the authorities on the commuter to return it. But then she was talking harshly to the people, and as a result, some people were fired, including herself. So what she meant was she just really loved that tumbler. She just really loved that tumbler, and she really wanted back. But how she said it, causing a lot of trouble. So how we say the first one we already know that is we need to be aware of who we are, and then accept who we are, and now how we act on be gentle on how we act. So aware, accept, and act. So inspire kindness with courage. Thank you for your attention and participation. I hope this little talk help you with shaping your empathy. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ibu Flo. It's really refreshing to be reminded, to open our minds. And sometimes miscommunication does happen, but it's never our intention to hurt people. But we can never control other people' perception. Yeah. So Ibu Flo, I think if we have some question for Ibu Flo, please drop the questions on the chat box, and then we will discuss them during our panel, during our Q&A session. But before we head to the Q&A session, we do have Kak Prita. Kak Prita, are you here already? So Kak Prita will share her story.
Hi,
Yes,
Mbak
Kak Prita.
Uyun.
Kak Prita is already here. So this is our last but not least. Our next speaker is proud alumna of the King's College London. So let's hear from Kak Prita Damanik. She is an alumna from Master of Arts Education Policy and Societies class of 2024 through a fully funded scholarship from the government of Indonesia, currently working as a child protection in education national consultant in Save the Children Indonesia, an education policy researcher in Inovasi Palladium. Kak Prita, over to you.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Happy to see you here. Let me introduce myself. I'm Prita Damanik, graduate last year from King's College London with a grade of MI in Education Policy and Society. So currently I work to support two program that relevant with the improvement of quality of teaching in Indonesia, in Save the Children Indonesia, and also in Inovasi Palladium. So I went to King's College in 2023, that funded by LPDP scholarship. So that was my career, part of my career break. So I've been working for 10 years in Indonesia to support the fulfillment of child rights across, like, for some organizations such as World Vision Indonesia and also UNICEF. And most of the projects were located in eastern area of Indonesia. So let me share my screen to help me. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. As a proud alumni of King's College London, so I contact with the alumni officer of King's College and participated as a volunteer for today. So I'm happy to talk with you about my experience and how the study can support me become a professional in my career. So yeah, so the second question is what brings me to become a Forever Kings. Forever Kings, it's a famous hashtag for every alumni. So if we have graduated, we can post our picture with the hashtag Forever Kings. Yeah, firstly, I have applied for a scholarship. So I become a scholarship hunter for almost 7 years. Yeah, I keep trying and also shortlisted as as one of the famous scholarship from British that Chevening. Yes, but I choose LPDP to fund it my scholarship. So I usually start my essay, and then even I wrote this phrase for my dissertation that I always start like I have a dream. When I was a child, I dreamed like I will be children warrior that protect children in Indonesia. But yeah, suddenly the dream comes true when I get a job that flew me back to eastern area in Indonesia, and then I work there with children, improve the knowledge of the community to protect children. So why I choose education policy and society, because it's an unique approach that combine my previous academic experience. Yes, I have a bachelor in politics, in international relations, and then I worked for one of the big intervention for the prevention of bullying in Indonesia, and it's relevant with education. So that's why, and I found that course really interesting, like combine the experience of international development, politics, and then how to make an inclusive approach for education. So that comes from also my practical experience. As I told before, I was a policy advocate for the prevention of violence against children in education by bringing the good practice from UNICEF for the prevention of bullying. And then it was a national program. And after that, it became a national policies. So that's why I want to tailor my whole experience from the field, as a policy advocate, and then academically. So that's why I chose Master of Arts in Education Policy and Society, because this program offer a unique approach that tailor intersectionality to analyze education policy, which that I think that's the main criteria to become a good policymaker in Indonesia. Okay, so talking about my experiences in UK, yeah, by attending those class, I learned like a wider definition of diversity and multicultural understanding of policy and children. Before that, okay, I learned from my field experiences, from the online courses about the policy and how to understand like the intersectionality and diverse concept. But here in King's College, I learned in a wider concept, like the wider concept of gender, of the freedom of speech, and then meet with the international communities there, and also my friends from Indonesia. Yeah, I found I got a lot of friends from Indonesia and international also. And the second one, one of the memorable experience when because the lecturer know that I have a field experience, practical experience to become advocate for child protection policy. So the lecturer invite me to share my experience as a policy advocate for the prevention of violence in the child protection lecture. Yeah, so that's why I choose this program, because I can join in a class called child protection. So that was boost my understanding about a different perspective of child protection. And then the third one, I am strongly impressed with the fantastic connection of public transportation there, and also the pavement and the pavement, the easy access for everyone. Yeah, that's the hard things that I couldn't find in Indonesia. So with that fantastic connection, So we can easily move or did a traveling experience like in this picture. Yeah, we went, me and my Indonesian friends, we arranged a trip to Bath. That's our first trip together. And after that, a lot of traveling experience, and we also try the to travel to the Europe area, to the eastern and to the west area of Europe. So yeah, it was a fascinating experience for me to attend my master degree in King's College London. The fourth one, it's like, yeah, everybody knows, like, yeah, I think it's also one of my consideration that the master program in UK is only 1 year. So yeah, for me as the one who have working experience, I thought like 1 year to as a career break, it's quite enough for me. So I can still, like, people still remember me, because if I went for 2 years, maybe people forgetting me, or I'll be missing out from any kind of the political situation or the trend in Indonesia. So uh, that's why I choose UK as my as the destination of my studies. Uh, According to that 1 year program, so I think that limitation is boost my skill in time management. For example, to equally thinking for reading, writing, and intense academic schedule, but I still can manage to traveling, to enjoy the facilities. So yeah, 1 year in UK has boost my skills for managing time, and then I strongly happy with that experience. And the last one is, I think the King's College London provide a supportive lectures that always give their time to hear our progress, to motivate us, and then the inclusive learning method, like, for example, the kids, yes, the kids is like a learning management system, and then we can access the recording, we can access the reading materials before we attend the class, and after that there's also Padlet for us to discuss. So if we have some difficulties, we can arrange the meeting with the lecturer or our academic support team. So yeah, if you want to study in King's College London, I can guarantee that will be one of the the happiest time for us to attend the academic study there. Okay, so how my master degree support my career? I think 1 year in UK has improved my understanding of child protection policy and how to write it for an academic context, because uh, I I understand, like, my field experience, my practical experience when dealing with the government, with the donors, and so on. I think it's enough, but how to make it become an academic product, like policy brief, research action, and so on. Yeah, I did it by attended the class in King's College. And the second one, it was enrich my knowledge when developing the school-based intervention. For example, like now, yeah, I think I have different perspectives to make sure, like, how that intervention can be learning to in every school in Indonesia, how to deal with the diversity context, and how to serve the information that I got from the intervention, share it to the audience. Yeah, by attending that class, I can yeah, because for example, I remember in the first class, one of our midterm assignment was making the policy brief. Yeah, so that's why I can bring my experience, the problem in Indonesia, to become a good document, policy brief. And surprisingly, now, yeah, one of my tasks in Inovasi is to make a briefing paper like what I did in the class of MI education policies. So the last one, yes, I have by attended the MI education policy. I have a new identity that helped me to match with the latest job, with the new targets also. Like now, yeah, I manage a child protection program in Kreasi Save the Children, and the second one with Inovasi. So both of the projects were tailored to support the improvement of academic in Indonesia. And I think it was nice to sell myself with the new branding as not only the about child protection, but also the wider things is education policy. And I think it has improved myself, improved my understanding, and also like a new identity that I can talk with everyone. Or when I did a partnering meeting, yeah, we can introduce ourselves, like what have you did before, and what and they usually ask about your study background, like that. And the last thing, like, yeah, I can happily say, like, with by attending this master and then get the scholarship from the government of Indonesia, I can spreading um spreading a good practices, and some of my mentee also, they can happily join LPDP. Yes, they receive LPDP, and some of them also have a plan to go to the King's College London, because yeah, I always told to them, like, King's College will give you a supportive academic system, and it will be the best, one of the best thing in your life. So that's all from myself. Yeah, I'm sorry if I only share the limited things, because yeah, currently in Indonesia, like, yeah, we're facing this disaster, and I have yeah, some of the meeting list to for the emergency response also. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kak Prita. So that's a lively, very, lovely experience that you have in the UK. And I'm certain that everyone here is inspired by your journey. Yes, you are the real pendekar anak ya, Kak, from UNICEF. Anyway, so now we welcome your questions to our speakers and for Study UK, since Gita is also here. I think we do have question from Nur. Hang on, Kak Nur Safitri Amalia. Would you like to open your mic and maybe your camera so that you can tell your question to Professor Sanders? Kak Nur, are you still here? Hello. So maybe I can read the question to Professor Sanders. How do you nudge people to comply with the government regulation while the society tends to tolerate bending the rule behavior?
Yes, that's a really interesting question. So I think the part of the challenge is that people perceive that rule breaking and rule bending is much more common than it actually is. So that's what we found in the tax letters project that which I spoke about during the project is, if you ask people in Britain what percentage of people don't pay their taxes, they'll tell you it's about 30%. If you talk to people around the world, it's sort of similar kind of proportions. But in reality, it's much, much smaller than that. So one of the ways which we can encourage people to comply with regulations is to point out to them how rare rule breaking actually is. Another thing we can do is we can demonstrate the social impact of rule-breaking behavior. So a good example of this might be with people using their mobile phone while driving, which is illegal in the UK, but which enormous numbers of people engage in. And they think, the argument people make is, if you try and actually nail them down on an argument, is, well, I'm a really good driver, so it's okay for me to do it. And it's very hard to get people to believe anything other than that they're a very good driver. I know that I'm a very bad driver because I drive very, very slowly, because I'm a very nervous person. But most people believe there was studies said 93% of people think they're above average drivers, which just isn't possible. What you can do is say, it's not actually about you. it's about other people. So if you're a brilliant driver, but you're looking at your phone and somebody else is being a bad driver near you, that increases the risk. So with getting people to comply with regulations, you can say, it's not just about you complying with the regulation for your benefit, it's also about the benefit that it has on other people and trying to induce that kind of sense of social responsibility.
Yep, I agree. It takes only one bad driver to cause a catastrophe on the road. It doesn't have to be you, but yes. Okay, maybe moving on to the next question that we have from other channels. Why is it so hard nowadays to build real connections with people? Who wants to take this question? Maybe Ibu Flo?
Okay, thank you for the question. So, how to face people how it is so difficult, to have a genuine, real connection with people. I think this goes back to the purpose, the purpose of the relationship again. Real connection. What is the purpose of the connection? Now people want that transparency. So that transparency is important, and it can help us to be not misperceived, not misperception, less misunderstanding without transparency. And be genuine in what we say. The synchrony of what we think, what we say, and how we act will help people have real connection with others. Thank you.
Thank you, Buffalo. So there's a follow-up question to this. How do you face people who don't have same vision with you nicely? So maybe they are challenging your vision, or maybe have objections to your vision.
So may I answer this again? So yeah, we will meet a lot of people who don't have the same vision, same value with you, definitely, but have the same understanding. And it's okay to agree to disagree, and yeah, have the same understanding. I think it's to understand what is your vision and to understand what is her vision, but you don't have to force your vision to hers and her vision to yours.
I agree. That's why open-mindedness is very important. Okay. So I think there's a next question is, does some Asian behavior could lead to weaknesses the society, such as reluctant? So I think this is a reluctant to asking questions. Maybe there are some behaviors that we do have. I think I acknowledge this. Who wants to pick this, or Professor Sanders?
So I don't
Yeah.
feel particularly well qualified to speak to Asian behavior, painting with a very broad brush. I think that would be unwise of me to character from my position to sort of describe the behavior of a couple of billion people in one sentence.
I agree. I think and we are from
Ibu Flo.
India. So yeah, I think Asian culture maybe is a bit shy. We are told to be quiet all the time. Like earlier, I mentioned it. Yeah, we are, because different for us is faced as problems. So we are trained to be quiet, stay to the script, and then not make waves. Yeah, so that's the Asian behavior, but it has some strength. It makes a smooth teamwork, and then we always respect our elders. We always be respect to our teachers, respect to our leaders, and low interpersonal conflict. But then there's our challenges as well. Like there is innovation becomes slow, and then our trade also avoid conflict. Yeah, avoid conflict, saving the face, and it 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 protects the social bonds. It protects the family, and we face highly diplomatic in communication. But then again, the issue will be honest conversation or postpone. But it's not reluctant, yeah, it's fear of being judged, fear of being different. I think we need to be modestly understanding, yeah, understanding about that, and shape our conversation. Direct in indirect communication is the way usually for Indonesian. So it minimizes embarrassment against saving the face. So the way the how to face it to be again be genuine, to have the understanding that this is for a good cause, and ask the other party, will you be willing to open up to us? Will you be willing to be honest to us? And ask, and then again thoughtful transparency in our thought will be perceived better.
Thank you, Buflo. So I think the concept of teamwork in Indonesia is beyond teamwork. I think we have gotong royong, right? Whereas like we're very helpful each other without, we have so much empathy, and then we step in when somebody needs help. I think it should be more highlighted than the shyness, hopefully. Is there anybody else in the room that would like to ask? Well, feel free to, open your camera and then unmute yourself, since we have our professors here. Yeah. Or Gita, would you like to? Oh, there's another question. How to get the best grades for studying at King's College London? There we go. So I think the Professor Sanders should be the one who can answer this question.
So, in terms of getting the best grades while studying here, or in order to get here, I think the key thing which I tell all students and all prospective students is that the main ingredient in success is discipline and structure. So I know a large number of people who are very, very smart who did not get the grades they wanted to get, and were not able to go to the university they wanted to because of the fact that they lacked structure. I know a lot of people who might have thought themselves as not being quite so sort of stellar in the academic sphere, who through structure and discipline were able to achieve great things. There are also a lot of lessons from behavioral science about how to improve your grades. So a good example of that is a commitment buddy. So find somebody who will you sort of you make your commitment to. So I'm going to study between 9 and 12 a.m. That is not nighttime necessarily. And I'm gonna study this thing, and at the end of it, I will have written this many sort of this many notes or that kind of thing, and then make a commitment to somebody else. So it's their job to check on you and make sure you're doing it. We also do a thing where you have to put something on the line. So an example of that might be, if you don't make your target, if you don't write enough words, then you have to buy coffee the next time you see that person. So you're sort of putting some money on the line if you don't do that. So I think that those are sort of some handy tips. But the important thing about coming to King's is obviously we're an academically selective institution, and it's not straightforward to get in, but that we are, I think, having worked at a number of other universities like King's in the past, I think we thrive on diversity and on variability. So I think passion as well as having the grades is a really important part of coming here. And being a little bit different to the norm is something that we really value. Otherwise they wouldn't have hired me.
Thank you, Professor. Yeah, I think everyone is unique in their own ways, and you got to share yourself. Is that it, Professor Sanders? And also discipline. Yes, I agree. Well, is there any more questions that we can discuss? We have more or less 10 minutes until the end of the session. Maybe for Gita to, for to study in the UK, do you have any tips that we can share in general? That how do you try? I know how do you start to apply to get your study in the UK to kickstart your journey, Gita? Maybe you can share a bit.
Okay, thank you so much, Uyun, for the question. So as a UK alumni myself, I studied in UK. 7 years ago, I took MBA, Media Management at time at Cardiff University, and I got a scholarship, Chevening scholarships. And I think I would like to also answer because there are many questions related to scholarship when we had a registration of this session as well. So in the UK, there are a lot of options for the funding, including like scholarship from Indonesia government. As you can see, Kak Prita that mentioned SICAD from LPDP. That's also from Indonesia government that you can also go to the UK with LPDP scholarships. And also from the UK, we have Chevening, where I get Chevening to get my master degree. And also usually from the university itself, also they will provide, if it is not full scholarship, they have as well the partial scholarship as well. And then in the British Council, we collaborate with several universities that we have great scholarship that it's now open. So for the great scholarship, we provide for the tuition fee up to 10,000 pounds sterling to the students. So yeah, I'll drop a link about the great scholarship to be applied for the Indonesian students that you can see what are the universities and then also the details about the great scholarships and then how to apply, etc., etc. So I'll drop a link here for you to know about the great scholarship. It's now open, and then the deadline will be different from one university to another. So usually it's around May or June, the deadline of each university, but you have to check as well to the university itself. So yeah, that's maybe from me, Ian. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gita. I don't think we have more questions, right? But we do want to hear from you for our feedback. So maybe we can share the QR to get the feedback from our audience. And we do have a Study UK program. Is that the guide, right? So that if you want to learn more how to study in the UK, we do have a guide for you. I'm going to share it on screen, and then you can download the guide. Okay, so is it showing? I cannot see the screen. Hang on. Are we good, Gita? Okay, thank you, Professor Sanders. You need to leave to give another lecture. That was very insightful, and well, he hopes that to see everyone here to attend KCL next year, so that some of you in the future. And then Bu Florence, thank you again for sharing your insights today. It's very heartwarming. I think it's very close to heart and wholesome, and we can apply it. Even I'm not from the background for social action, but I think I can relate to your presentation and how we can be misunderstood sometimes, even though our attention is not bad. And also, thank you, Kaplita. I think Kaplita is on emergency meeting because of handling, the team that is happening. I hope that everyone's thoughts and prayers for those are in Sumatra. But thank you also everyone who attends today. We hope to see you again in the next webinars. And I guess that's it. Thank you everyone who attended and interact with and give some questions. And that's all. Thank you so much. And good afternoon and have the rest of your weekend. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.